Welcome to The Point for today, Thursday, July 16th, 2020. Thank you to those of you joining us across all various platforms, Facebook, YouTube, the website, those of you watching on GBN TV, channel 7, 11, and 20, and the folks listening to Classic 105 and Hot 98. This morning, we are continuing our plan this week for the open forum, where we have been open the phone lines most of this week, except on Wednesday, to give you, our viewers and listeners, a chance to phone in or message us with anything that is on your mind. If you have questions, comments, queries, concerns, this is the platform to do so. You can call us on the landline 435-2041. You can message us on the WhatsApp. It's also 435-2041. Please, only written messages on the WhatsApp. We cannot take any calls, no voice or video calls, no voice notes, links, pictures, videos, only written messages on the WhatsApp. You can also participate on the GBN Television Facebook page and the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel. Let's go to our phone line for the first caller. Good morning.
Good morning, my wonderful lady. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm blessed. Taking the best care, but to make this alive.
All right. Great. Go ahead.
I live here for a good while. Yeah? I live in Grenada for a good time. I go Trinidad, I go Babylon, I go New York for a while and thing. But people complain about every day, complain on the radio. Here ain't nice, and here ain't nice, and this and that and the other. But then go in, what they live and go? What was so nice outside the world look like on television? They send the world on television, they feel outside nice. And people make a fast money and come back, but they work hard for the money outside the world, you know. You got to work hard for the money outside. You got to be and work on time, and you can't sick every and say you come into work, you know. We nice here. The best in the world is Grenada. We live we have no AC living in our home at night. No hot and cold. As in the big world, the big world is hot and cold. When I say cool, it's hot. When I say hot, it's cold. That's how to live outside the world, you know. But we live in a fresh atmosphere, nature, climate change, green nature we're living in. No pollution is, mineral pollution we're getting. We have enough trees to cool the carbon for we. Enough trees, what's that world not so, you know. It's building. It's very rare to get a tree. We live in nice and brown, complain here in nice and you're negative and about negative in the country they live in. They're born here, they achieve things in Grenada, but they still like the country they live in. Around the country, the worst, like Grenada, the worst of the world. They never live nowhere otherwise, they never work nowhere otherwise in Grenada, living and they work and live in Grenada, but they condemn the country they live in. Let's come together as a small nation of people. We know each other here, everybody in Grenada know each other. Everybody's family. Come together and let's build Grenada. So all those who outside will come back home and live nice and things when they come back home, but they ain't doing that. They put all the money in the bank, and they want to find out, come and build Grenada for them. Come and build a hotel for you. And that's all, you know. Come and build Grenada. Grenadians who want money in Grenada, invest money in your country. Come together as black people and invest and build Grenada. Those who outside, who live in the cold outside, when they come back, say, we have a nice and thing. But we only complain every day and complain and blame and believe it. And they ain't going nowhere. They have got a passport to travel, to go nowhere.
All right. Thank you very much, caller. Thank you for your contribution. It's the continuation of Open Forum here this week on To The Point, 435-2041. That's the landline. That's also the WhatsApp number. You can message the WhatsApp. No calls on the WhatsApp, please. Only written messages on the WhatsApp. You can also participate on the GBN Television Facebook page and the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm good.
All right, you still as special as yesterday?
I think so.
You still running Christmas?
Not today. Not today.
You're great, you know. If anybody don't like you, something wrong with them, you know.
Thank you very much.
I'll tell you something. This Grenada is, we're saying, the best country in the world, and I have been saying that for quite a number of years. I never traveled, but I work hard, and you make it somehow. But your last caller, yes, he always gives some valuable contribution. But you must understand that if you're looking for something, and you know who can deliver it to you, and that is not being realized, you are going to complain. It's not going to just want to complain, because we had not been complaining in the early years much. But we get to a stage now, we have regressed. And so people are looking for progress. They're looking for survival. They're looking for development. And we want the people who we put there to give us that. We know they have the ability. But if we're not getting it, we're going to complain. We could talk as much as what we want and ask we need to pick. I have been calling for unity over the years. It is not happening. You know why? Despite the fact what I am doing in my community over the years under different governments, since 16 years of age, I am doing this thing. And I had not been getting the response that I wanted from the people who had to give me. I complain, but I don't give up. I continue struggling, I continue fighting. But that is the root of the problem. And when you talk leadership, some people doesn't like to hear it. But leadership is the problem. It starts from the home and it goes beyond this, to the school, into the work system, into the political system. This is leadership. Once you get people who understand your needs and are going to work on your personal and other needs, give you that kind of honest representation, we're not going to complain, and this is lacking. People does not have our best interests at heart. And so we're not developing in the way that we're supposed to develop. And let's say, commerce have really left us, well, overwhelmed us. And so we're under pressure. And so that's why we are. That's why people complain. We're looking for leadership who will shift us economically so that the social area will be taken care of. And that's the problem there. We're calling for leadership that will lend us the hand to develop and around the areas, not only education without a job, without a good salary. It does not make sense, you know. So, my good gentlemen, what we want is not complaining. We want leadership that will give us our development on the economic side so that socially we can live together.
Okay. Thank you very much, caller, for your contribution. Let me check the social media quickly before I go back to the phone lines. There are some comments from Tuesday's program that I may share shortly. One question on Facebook, somebody's asking if the St. George's Market Square has really been sold. According to the Minister of Tourism and Civil Aviation, Clarice Meadows-Cohen, she was a guest on To The Point yesterday, the Market Square has not been sold. Good morning.
Citizen Welsh, good morning.
Morning, Citizen Rollo.
Now listen, I just want to make a couple of comments based on in reference to a news item where one of our citizens, what's the name there, man? From Tivoli side of, he's a drummer. Can you
Livingston Nelson.
Livingston. I want to concur with him on some of the things, or the majority of the things he spoke. He said relating to the market, as we know it, the market in St. George's. And he rightly said, a marketplace, you go around the world, according to the ethnic origin of the people there, the demographics of the country, in other words, in our case, it was a mixed thing because the general market in St. George's relates to the country itself, is a significant historic site or historical site. In there, you have a merge of all the idiosyncrasies, behaviors, gastronomical forms. In other words, it's a cultural place, a cultural potpourri, a cultural consomme, as you would say in the Spanish language. Everything relative to the people of that country is found in the marketplace. But whereas it has such historic and cultural value, it has to be kept in a certain way. It's a place where tourists visit. You go around the world. I've lived in certain places. I've seen it. But the place must have a management. It must have control. I heard certain things coming from a discussion about that marketplace. The nasty state, I have to say the word, of the toilet facilities, in other words, the drains block, people dirty in the place. You hear about people sleeping in a marketplace. God forbid, Citizen Welsh, that this thing continues. I think it is important that we recognize the importance of, as the brother expressed, and do what we have to do to clean that place up, and above all, establish a proper management. You can imagine the place is stinking, rotten, and falling apart, and there is a manager? For Christ's sake, what is that? All our scholar just mentioned, and he always speaks about management, leadership, responsibilities in this here country. It's time that we cross this line and move into a correct stage of discipline ourselves to do the correct things and do them always. I wish that the sanitization may not just be a bluff, but after that, they establish a system of management to control the marketplace. You can imagine that they're not even clear on the amount of people who sell within the market. Now, what is that? Thank God for COVID, as somebody said this morning, that all these deficiencies and incompetences of those who are ruling this here country, that will be, at least we begin to correct in the Citizen Welsh. That the marketplace be what it ought to be in our history. Thank you very much, and do have a nice day, will you?
Thank you, Citizen Rollo. You have yourself a good day as well today. Thank you for your participation. Let me check again. Somebody on Facebook is asking, when people are struggling, frustrated, need assistance that was promised to them from their government and they are not getting it, they have to complain. Let me go to some of the comments from yesterday. Somebody yesterday suggested, I am a market vendor, but I believe that the market needs a very good cleaning. Somebody else says, how will a visitor know which taxi is certified? That was a question for the minister. Yes, that was a question for the... No. Hold on. I'll review just now. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning.
Good morning, Blossom.
Morning.
I just want to say a heartfelt thank you to all of the nation's teachers who go beyond the call of their duty to assist our children, especially during the COVID time when they had to use the telephone and other means of communication. Again, I just want to say from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you for helping our children to go through the next chapter of their lives. Some of them have to move on to secondary, some have to move on to college. Some of them are doing exam at this point in time, and our prayers are with them. And I beg of those parents who don't have the Wi-Fi and the internet to please make use of the books that are available at the school. Some of them are, still have the program ongoing, so that, when they get to the next chapter, that the children can make use of it, just in case, they don't have the internet. And I please want to beg of Flo to do something to help us with the internet service. Too many times we have it cutting off in the middle of our children's studies and so on, They probably have to go to a neighbor or wait until they come back. And if we are going to introduce the tablets, then you'll have much more people using these services. And I assuming that if they don't improve on it, it will be worse for our children and it could be frustrating. Once again, I say thank you and continue to do the things you do. Have a blessed day, Blossom.
Thank you. You do the same. Let me go back to Facebook. The St. George's Marketplace is a cursed place. Hundreds of Grenadians were executed in that place after the Fedon rebellion. Somebody on WhatsApp, I agree with Citizen Rollo. Good morning. Tell the caller that has to be one of the callers before Citizen Rollo. Tell the caller he needs to get his facts straight. I know many Grenadians who went home and tried to open businesses and were literally ran off. Grenadians always think that we come to take something from them. Jealousy and envy are happy and well in Grenada. Everybody talks and do not know what they are saying. Back to the phones. Good morning.
Good morning, Sister Blossom.
Good morning, Mr. Jacob. How you do?
I'm fine. I'm feeling so on top of the world.
You're well right.
To see you, my one, I come to thank the Almighty Father. To have such a wonderful niece, grandniece. But that is her mother is my niece, and she's my gran. The one that working on the airport, Judy Abraham. It's easy. Oh, my God. And to see it in at school there, and she do she schoolwork home. You could see she push she lesson, because you have to work good to come in the convent You have to do a good work to come in convent and high school and presentation, you have to work very good. And Papa, I see my little granny going down the mud this morning. She looking so handsome and nice, Sister Blossom. And I had to thank those nuns that give her that thing. And I'm glad she passed to go in convent. I glad. And I tell the mother this morning, when I see her, I say, Mommy, give me granddaughter a little hug. And she hug and she kiss her up, Sister Blossom. It was so nice this morning. That's why I tell you, are they on top of the world.
Okay, Miss Jacob. Thank you.
And what about your wonderful mommy, which is my mommy too?
She's great. She's good.
And you know what I want you to do for her when you go home?
Mm-hmm.
Give her a nice hug and a kiss for Miss Jacob.
Okay, will do.
Tell her Miss Jacob send that hug and kiss for her.
Okay.
Okay, sweetheart?
Alrighty.
You have a blessed day. God bless you and I love you, darling.
Love.
Okay.
All right. Okay, on that note, let's take a break. This is To The Point on Classic Hot and GBN. We'll be right back.
Greetings, everyone. I hope this message meets you and yours in the best of health as we join in encouraging all to act responsibly.
COVID-19 presents the most serious
and deadly challenge
any of us will experience in our lifetimes.
We must act now.
We need to keep the Caribbean safe.
We can all help to stop the spread of the coronavirus. Please stay at home.
So Caribbean people, please stay home.
Caribbean people, please stay at home.
Please stay home. It's that simple. This too shall pass. But for now, stay home.
Stay in your yard. Stay home, stay safe.
The following are a list of food items to have on hand amidst COVID-19. Perishables like vegetables, fruits, provisions, and eggs. You are advised to stock perishable items to last up to 2 weeks. Non-perishable items including dry goods like cereals, flour, cornmeal, oats, rice, pasta, nuts, and nut butters like peanut butter, crackers, canned or frozen meats, ready-to-eat canned meats, powdered or canned milk, dried peas and beans, canned fruits in natural juices, 100% canned fruit juices, and canned vegetables. You can stock non-perishable food items to last up to 1 month. Store bottled or clean drinking water, 1 gallon or more per day per person. If you suffer from a medical condition, have prescribed medications on hand. A message from the Grenada Food and Nutrition Council as we battle COVID-19.
GBN Television News at 7, a pulse on all things Grenadian. Look out for our new features through expanded synergies with our media partners in Barbados, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Trinidad, and beyond. Capturing the latest in news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Credible, informative. Thank you for making us number one. News at 7, live, Monday to Friday on GBN Television, Channel 7 and 11, K105.5 and 105.9, Hot 98.5 and 98.7, GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel, and www.gbn.gd. GBN, with you anywhere and everywhere.
The Grenada Food and Nutrition Council remind you to boost your immune system and give yourself a fighting chance against COVID-19. Consume foods that are rich in vitamin C, like fruits and vegetables. For example, oranges, grapefruit, mandarin, lemon, spinach, cabbage, and tomatoes. Vitamin B6 and folic acid that is found in chicken, turkey, fish, grain foods like oats, bread, local provisions, dry beans, and peas. Another immune system booster is vitamin E, found in nuts, corn, sunflower.
Welcome back to the Point. We are continuing the open forum program here on To the Point. Call us on the landline 435-2041. You can also message us on WhatsApp, Facebook, or YouTube. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning.
Good morning, Doctor.
Morning, Ms. Jeremiah.
How are you again?
I'm good.
Yeah, I like what this person said to you this morning. If anybody don't like you, something wrong with them.
Thank you for the vote of confidence.
Yes, I vote that. You know what I admire about you? You don't allow anything to get you down. You come with the same zest, the same power, the same vibes, and you just go and continue. Nothing seems to get in.
I try my best.
Yeah, well, it's a sign of maturity.
Thank you very much.
You're maturing in yourself because you see too many times. Yes, words have power. Words could kill and it could make life, right? But we have to know how to manipulate those words when they come, especially those that come to kill.
True.
Don't let it get this way. That's why we need God and the Holy Spirit inside of us.
Agreed. Thank you.
Pastor, I want to read again. Some time ago, I read the whole of the book of Revelation on GBN. I want to zero in on chapter 13, and I want to read from verse 11 to as far as I can get. Because, you see, we see things happen in the world, and we just do not associate it with biblical prophecies and what the Word of God says will happen. We live as though, well, just like something happened, we're going to pass and we're going to continue as normal. You see, this time, they talk about the new normal. Well, that is the new normal. What the Bible says will happen in these last days. And it says from verse 11, "And I beheld another beast coming up out of this earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, but he spake as a dragon. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he does great wonders, so that he makes fire come down from heaven into the earth in the sight of all men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the first beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image of the beast which had the wound and of the sword, and they lived. And he had power to give unto the image of the beast, to give life unto the image of the beast. The image getting life. And that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark on the right hand or in the forehead, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Herein is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast. Now, recently I saw a video on YouTube where they talk about the person who was presenting on the video showed a document which was in the name of Bill Gates, where he had this cryptocurrency. He has a cryptocurrency platform, and he has a patent number, and the patent number to his name is 060606. That means 6:6. Say, hearing is wisdom. Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 636. I want Grenadians to take heed. We are not going to get better in the world. The time is coming when the Lord will take away those who are truly living for him, truly born again, washed in the blood, and walking upright in the heart.
Okay.
They are going to be taken away, and who are left behind is woe. People better repent and get ready to meet Jesus so they can go with him when the trumpet sound.
Thank you.
Have a blessed day, darling. God bless you, and enjoy the rest of the week. Well, I'll be with you tomorrow again.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jeremiah. Let me check the social media. Somebody on Facebook. Good morning. Oh, I'm good. Could you ask Noasa to kindly send some water for us in the Coconut and Mount Parnassus? Over a week we have no water. Have you tried contacting them yourself? Try calling them again if you have before. Noasa, the people in the Coconut and Mount Parnassus are asking for pipe-borne water. WhatsApp, I am calling on my people to follow the protocols, wear your masks, keep your distance, and wash your hands often. Please refrain from gathering in large groups. We don't want to have one more complaint to blame the government for that we brought upon ourselves. Somebody else on WhatsApp says, can a cultural ambassador title be revoked? I sincerely hope so, because this kind of behavior Mr. Killer displayed in Guave a few weeks ago is not becoming of this title, and the powers that be should revoke this title from him with immediate effect. That's my opinion. The world watched him lead a protest, setting fires, blocking roads, which really was not called for. The powers that be revoke that title. I am not so sure we could blame him for the fire that was lit in the middle of the road on the lands. The protest happening on the lands while Mr. Killer, was really in the vicinity of the Guave police station and the courthouse. So I'm not sure we could blame him for the fire part of it, at least. Let me go back to the phone lines. Good morning.
I want to call back in any case, you know.
1 minute.
No, in Trinidad, in any case, in the Dr. Williams, he will build Trinidad. The government Trinidad will build Trinidad. People will Trinidad. In Miami, the people are building Miami, not the government. In Manhattan, which is a beautiful place, the people are building Japan, every country, you know, in China, people build the country, but not the government. But I don't know why we depend on the government to build greener for we. People invest in money and build every country in the world. And the most of the time, it gets from private people and the government. Neither to that.
Thank you very much, caller. Let me go back to the WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, the market has overgrown itself, and it is time whoever is responsible to put the badly needed second level and a central car park, which I know in a short time will pay for itself. I second the call for the car park. That's something that is badly needed in St. George's proper. I second that part. Good morning. I love Grenada. Grenada is the best place on earth. I don't care what anybody says. Bye. I concur. Somebody else says, why is it that Grenville Market vendors... No, start over. Too many times government has to spend money on buildings that they have already fixed. For example, every year government spends money on schools they have already fixed, and this year is no exception. Workers need to take care of government's property more, and therefore government has more money to spend on other things. Why is it that the Grenville Market vendors' stall are very clean and in St. George's it's always dirty? I think that the vendors in St. George's need to step up. Sometimes we fix it, but we don't maintain it. I'll tell you that much. Let me see what else is on WhatsApp before I go back. Right. Somebody on WhatsApp says, Mr. Killer was the one trying to defuse his Guavarians. I like Guavarians. Tell that person get their facts. Come on. Let me see what else is on WhatsApp before I go back to the phones. The person that said Grenada is nice and they love Grenada and do not care what anybody says, it's a lie because they spend all their life overseas. Have a blessed day. So you know the person that said they love Grenada? You don't know who the person is, so you're assuming that the person lying? Lord. Back to the phone lines. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
What have you got for thought this morning? Food for thought.
Lots of things.
What I hear this morning?
Where was? I can't remember it off the top of my head, you know.
What do you think about the market now?
The market needs to be sanitized, cleaned, and retrofitted properly.
Yes, I agree. Because when you look at the market, just like Perseverance and some of Dolly, isn't it? You must understand?
Mm-hmm.
What Dolly, isn't it? Dollies of all description, the hair plait and the thing on the waist. So we have to get rid of all these things. And let it be clean and proper. You understand? Okay, my dear.
All right.
Have a nice day.
Thanks, you too.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, caller. Let me go back to WhatsApp. I happened to listen to the Prime Minister on a show last evening. I was taken by two of his comments. One, when asked if Grenada will own its airline, and he mentioned Trinidad and they have oil, words to that effect. And I was taken aback because this is the same Prime Minister during the election boasting about Grenada has the same oil that Trinidad now has. What happens to the election oil he once was boasting about? I want to know if the oil wells all dried up. My second part of that interview, when the Prime Minister mentioned that there were companies defrauding the government and will have to pay it back, and that brings me back to the $70,000 phone bill, and no one knows if he ever paid it back. If he ever paid back 1 cent to the national coffers of Grenada while he wasn't in government position. So our Prime Minister can be talking from both sides of his mouth, meaning it's good for one and not the other. Yesterday I was told, as you mentioned, the Prime Minister, yesterday I was told that Prime Minister Mitchell will be the government's guest on next Wednesday's To The Point program. Let's say tentatively, because anything could happen between now and then. But tentatively, the Prime Minister will be the guest on next Wednesday's To The Point program. So be sure to tune in. To The Point, of course, starts at 9 and will be approximately 1 hour long. Let's see what happens. But let's keep our fingers crossed that the Prime Minister will be here and we can ask him about most of the concerns that our viewers and listeners may have. So tune in next week for Prime Minister Mitchell on To The Point. I think I have a caller on hold. Yes. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Blossom.
Morning.
I submit for correction. I think that back in the days, the market days they used to sell the slaves. So I think it's time for we get that building down. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, caller. I don't think it's the same building. My memory could be wrong. Back to the WhatsApp. Good morning. How come the Minister of Civil Aviation was not aware of the flights from Barbados on Sunday? I am not sure why she wasn't aware. I can't answer that. Somebody else, Mr. Killer's ambassadorial status should be revoked. He used his vehicle to block the fridge. Somebody else on WhatsApp, where is the police commissioner? I have not heard him for a while. I hope he is well. According to information, he is on leave at the moment. I am not sure if it's a medical or a vacation, just that he is on leave. And in the meantime, Assistant Commissioner of Police Franklin Redhead, as well as other hierarchy members of the force of the RGPF, are taking charge of the force in the meantime. I am not sure when he is scheduled to return. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning.
Morning, greetings, Blossom.
Morning.
Now, Blossom, when I look at our country today, now, it makes me think back to when we say, how a man thinketh, so is he. Because when we watch our leaders our political, how I should call them, our political, I can't even find a word to really describe them because, so disgraceful to me when I know that education should be most and foremost. And this time education has extended itself in a broader way because we have internet where you can get much more information and gain much experience. But all the years that have been passed in our country here from a political level, and knowing from whence we came in Gary time, all what we had, and today we haven't it, all the things that we still have and still not utilizing it, then I asking myself, why? And if the people could open their eyes and see, maybe they can tell me, definitely, if it's just our country have a curse, or if the sons and daughters that we put in place to ensure that our country and our people are well taken care of and things are in place so our children should be more edified. And as I said, history should be one of the plus for us to make us know where we came from and who we are, and why the things that are happening today in our life, in our country and in our world, why? Who are the people who have heart and who are the people that have no heart? Because the conditions that even the great America is exercising today, we see where we are as a race, a black race of people in this world. So I'm asking now, my people, to open your eyes and see the hatred that is upon us from that other race where we should be, as they say, in Jesus' name, because when I watch is a white man, they put in for Jesus, and in my heart, I know definitely I have a choice. As I always say in the Catholic Church where I grow, I see two statues. And one is about a white man, but it's the same man that is the black man on the other side, and the same black family on the other side. Why today we think when we call Jesus' name, we go get out of the position that the same people who carry in his face and name have us. When we will understand that our ancestors mean more. And I sung in this song so loud and clear, because when I speak, I don't speak because I feel I could talk. I speak and I talk because who in me, the spirit that in me, as I say, how a man thinketh, so is he. So how I think, that's the way I am.
Okay.
So I'm asking our Grenadians, so let's come together and ensure that when we put our sons and daughters in place to ensure that our country and people get the best, I think when they are not doing it, whether party, whether what color, whatsoever, we should come as one and see what wrong is wrong, and they cannot change, well, let we change them. If they can.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, caller. Let's take another break, and then we're going to come back and wrap up the program. This is To The Point on Classic, Hot, and GBN. We'll be right back.
We have an important message for all of you, especially if you live in a country that is right now facing the new coronavirus. The pandemic is growing exponentially in many countries. But the Czech Republic is one of the few in Europe that has significantly slowed down the spread of the virus. In this video, we would like to tell you what we did differently, and mainly, we would like to help you to do the same. We are following social distancing and the rules stay at home. But others do that too. We also have strict hygienic procedures. Others do that as well. But the main difference is everyone who has to leave their house has to wear a face mask. everyone. I know, they may be told you that masks wouldn't protect you, but there are studies proving that even a homemade mask can be partially protective. Partially. Any protection is essential today. But now the more important thing. Masks fundamentally prevent the transmission from you to others by sneezing, coughing, but also breathing. And many people are the most contagious before they start showing symptoms. So, when we both have a face mask, I protect you, you protect me, and we are both safe.
Based on recent data, we know that population-wide, the use of masks is essential for suppression of the outbreak.
According to our professional experience, a simple homemade mask can prevent up to 100% of the spread of potentially infected microdroplets.
The more people use masks, the less virus can be distributed and fewer individuals are exposed.
Just a few days ago, people were laughing at those who wore masks. But some people knew about this positive effect and started to share this information across social media. The message grew fast through artists, influencers, and others. I know, face masks aren't in stores, right?
Welcome back to The Point. It's open phone line here on the program this week. And now it's time to go back to the phone lines, and then I'm going to get back to the comments on the social media. Good morning.
Good morning, Blossom. How are you doing, sister?
I'm good.
I want to speak a little on the market this morning. I want them to leave the vendors a little while and deal with managers. Because you can't tell me you have a job, they pay you to do a job, and you go leave this build up of garbage in the market. Come on, the manager in the market doing a weak job. And I also want to say to the people who do the business in the market, this is your business place. This is your workplace. Try and do better than that. Keep it in a better way than that. You go over in the little Caribbean island and you go to the market, and if you see the market, that is place. But you trade in the market, and you have your place of trade in that condition. That is not nice. We have to do better than that. Have a good morning, sister.
Thank you very much, caller. You do the same. Let me go to the WhatsApp. We need to remember that it is our tax money that builds our country. Stop saying the government's money. We, the people, are the government. When we vandalize, etc., it is our money that's being wasted. We could have used it doing something more to further ourselves and our country. Somebody else on WhatsApp says Grenada is the best place in the world because things you do here you cannot do any other place. Example, begging for salt or sugar from your neighbor. And the market vendors are too nasty. Blossom went seed pain. Seed payments, I saw a notice that the schedule will be released soon. Most likely it will be next week, God willing. I would look to see if I find the news release from the Ministry of Social Development, and then I'll tell you exactly what period. But they did send out a notice earlier this week. Today's Thursday, so maybe around Tuesday they sent it out. And they said the schedule will be posted soon. Once I get the schedule, I will let you know. Somebody else on WhatsApp says, imagine the floor of a marketplace tiled with white tiles. The people of our St. George's Market do not show concern that it should be kept clean. Somebody else says, when the Prime Minister is on the program, can you give the online contribution to question him for at least 30 minutes because we don't get that opportunity to question these days? I can't guarantee. Today on our sister station in Carriacou, we'll be having a special program on the way, which is a sister station, where the people of Carriacou and PG Martin are being treated by the administration, and the decision made without the input of kayaks and the Prime Minister. Also the moving of the port and the Chinese Dumfries project today at 10. I am encouraging people from the mainland to participate, which is a sister station. Back to the phone line. Good morning. Hello.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning, Blossom. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay. Directly. Morning.
Say that again. Hello?
Listen, the statue in the U.S., it was supposed to be a black statue. But America didn't want the black statue, so they put a white one. And it's because it was given by the French, that because most of the states belongs to France. So they didn't like the white one, they put a black one, and the black one, they put it in St. Martin. Also, when they finish with that market, I hope they could go down to by the fish market, because that area down there is very terrible. And a lot of tourists walk down to that area when the cruise ship inside. I hope they could remove all those old boxes and all those old things they have here, and they could use some containers of how they do the one for the meat, and put everybody inside the containers so they could take care of everything inside there and don't put nothing outside. I would like to see when they finish there, they reach that area, because Mr. Peter David, for the longest while they have a project, and I can't see the project up to now yet. So I hope something could happen. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much, caller. You enjoy your day as well. There was a comment on, let's see, Facebook. If there is something known as 666 or the mark of the beast, well, us black people are experiencing the evil of that beast since in the days of slavery. I am tired with fundamentalist Christians predicting disasters while the church leaders and the organizations are getting richer and richer. Somebody else on Facebook says, I think sometimes we put costs on ourselves and blame it on someone else. We blame every and anybody for everything that goes wrong in our lives. Let me go back to the WhatsApp. Oh, Vibes 101. I cannot be advertising for all either. Somebody says, some of us are too emotional and we need to calm down. I thought the Prime Minister was not in Grenada. Yes, he is. The airport was closed. He only opened yesterday. So unless he left last night. But either way, he would be on the program. And remember, we have online platforms in case he's out of the island. We can arrange to have him on Zoom or Skype, as we've been doing for the past few months. So, yeah. Somebody else on WhatsApp. I'm not sure if I can extend the program next week, please, a lot. I would speak to the boss. Lord. Good morning.
Morning again.
Morning.
How you doing?
I'm good. 1 minute. Yes.
That's all limited as I have. Grenada could be the best place on the face of the earth. Fine. But it's a horror that a lot of things are happening in an obnoxious way. We have the highest exponentially cost of living extending. We have a situation where, well, in recent time, people killing one another in a funny way. But in spite of that, I could simply say that Grenada is the best place in the world. Has been for a good while. We don't have another revolution, although we have a set of hypocrites who are trying to overthrow, in particular ways, the government and creating a whole set of disturbances. And I'm listening to a lot of people talking about the Bible with so much misinterpretation. And I've not heard you, and not that you necessarily have to, but I've never heard you try correcting. There's a lot of mistake going on. For example, these born-again people, when they're using John 3:16, as they usually refer to it, they have it absolutely wrong. You have a whole set of misinterpretation when it comes to prophecy that would happen, a whole lot are wrong. And I've asked Miss, what is your name again? Who I asked her to explain to people where that whole mentality of going to heaven, and even nowadays, she's coming up with the whole issue of rapture. And people will be missing from the face of the earth, and those who are missing, they would be in a way. I don't know what she's saying they will be. It is wrong. There would be no rapture as it is normally referred to. There's a whole lot of confusion that is created when people like that make statements to that extent. And I'll in one day, hopefully, I'll be there to explain what God Almighty is pointing out clearly in the book of Revelation and the book of Daniel. Christ is calling back to establish a kingdom on this earth. And those who are qualified would be there with him to rule. And he has made us kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. That is particularly said. There's no statement about going to heaven. There's no statement about people will be raptured up, and that's it. And then there will be a 7 years. Where they get that from? That's not in the Bible. Read the book of Revelation, and you will see the contradiction and the lie, actually, that they are purporting and presenting nowadays. At the same time, there's this whole issue of, what do they call him, Bill Gates. There's a confusion. Bill Gates' confusion comes from that whole issue of vaccine. Bill Gates, if he's trying to get people, vaccinated, and this whole COVID thing is being used to get it into a perspective,
okay,
there's the confusion.
All right.
Again. Blossom.
Thank you.
I'll listen to you very carefully. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
You make a lot of sense. I like your enthusiasm. Like somebody put it this morning. You're a person who, it's like you give a new spirit to people, the way you put things and the way you operate. You enthuse people.
Thank you.
And it's very beautiful, very nice.
Thank you very much.
And keep it up. But you need to, at the same time, get people understanding a lot better. Because you are in a position, understand that, You are a communicator. And in communicating, words make a lot of sense. And for a better understanding, we should be listening to a person like you who could give us more information rather than just going through the motion of enjoying a moment.
Okay.
You understand the point?
I think so.
You're my girl.
All right.
Take care.
Thank you very much, caller. Okay, this computer is not cooperating with me. Let me go back to the phone lines in the meantime for the last caller. Good morning.
Morning, Blossom.
Morning.
Blossom, concern this market. How many times has Grenada received money from the Bolivarian Republic for repairing this market and being a state-of-the-art market? I heard Minister David spoke of it. I heard Minister Modest spoke of it. I heard the Ferry said Prime Minister spoke of it. And up to this present day, Blossom, you are telling me we are still hazard worry about the market and how it's going to go, when it's going to be, what's going to happen to the market, Blossom. It is high time the authority, the ruling people of this country, stop taking the people of this country for fools and pick publishing people. It is outrageous now with this nonsense. You keep saying that so why who could hold them account for the money they receive from the government for repairing the market to set that market? They had plans drawn up for the market. Can people seriously take a look at this thing and stop taking bipartisan politics and look at the issues that are there? It is high time that happen and holding these ministers accountable for saying these things, and they know they get the money, and up to this, they can't tell vendors in the market now. Nonsense. How about they have to close the market for this nonsense? If they do it as so much to be done, you don't have any these issues. And I know not afraid to call them because I heard them on platform saying these things. What money should receive to do the market? Come on, man. Stop making people a fool. Have a good day, Blossom.
Thank you very much, caller. You enjoy your day as well. Let me read through the social media as we wrap up this morning. Facebook. Keeping the area clean is the job of the people in charge of the market. I am sure the vendors are paying taxes. And somebody else says, so he is right and she is wrong. I tell you, let's just respect people's view now. No, hold on. Let's just respect people's view now. As you said, that reminds me of a comment the previous caller made, not the one before that, the penultimate caller, in relation to correcting people's beliefs in the Bible. I've learned a very long time ago that people's beliefs, especially when it comes to religion, is their beliefs, especially when it comes to interpretation. There are not many things that I may agree with when they interpret it, but I've learned a long time ago to leave people with their religion and their religious beliefs alone, just like politics. That's the end of the program. There are 4 comments on the WhatsApp. Let me see if I can run through them. Grenadians need to look at individual present and not their past. We are always ready to tell people about their past rather than being happy with them for their present. Somebody else on WhatsApp says, I love Grenada, and whenever I get the opportunity to listen to you, I really enjoy it. Have a blessed day. You do the same. Somebody else says, I think it's time we stop thinking about black and white. We were all created by God in his own image and likeness, and what we should be doing is living, loving with each other, not preaching hate. What is past, and even if we destroy historic monuments, history is already written. And the final WhatsApp comment says, what happened to the airplane Grenada had during the revolution? I am not sure. I was not alive that time. Thank you guys so much for participating. Thank you so much for participating and tuning into the program. That's the end of my time today. Joseph is up next with Mid-Morning Buzz. As a very quick update, England is 62-2. The 2 wickets were picked up by Roston Chase. Big up he whole self. West Indies, England, second test. Thank you guys so much. Have yourselves a very blessed Thursday. I'll be back with you tomorrow, God willing. Until then, stay safe.